political situation in the country today, in my assessment, and I want to believe this is a view shared by all well-meaning Gambians. Let me take this again. The political situation in this country, according to my assessment, and I'm very convinced that this is a view shared by all well-meaning Gambians. The political climate is very tense. It is equally very fluid. If it is fluid, it means it's unpredictable. What do I mean by that? Today, the politics of this country have allowed tribal sentiments to take the center stage in trying to define how we move this country. In my assessment, it is a dangerous precedent. As serving members of the armed forces, if I may emphasize to you, let's not get ourselves involved in politics. As the Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces, I will not be involved in politics. Going by the tenets of democracy, anytime I want to do that, it is going to contradict what we stand for as an institution. Meaning we are going to compromise our stand. And by compromising our stand is a recipe for misunderstanding between the armed forces and the civilian community. Yes, yesterday we have done it. But was it the right approach? The answer is obviously no. What is good, we have realized our mistakes. Because with the advent of this new administration, we've seen people, they've condemned us. They've ridiculed us. They've used all sorts of allegations against us. Some of us, we have pride and ego. I do not want to be classified in a way that would hurt my feelings. And some of the classifications are true. We had derailed from what we should have done. But it is better late than never. What is more important, let's draw useful lessons from the past and see how we can make some meaningful changes that would enhance our credibility as a vibrant defense instrument. It is against this backdrop I came with a conclusion. Of course, all senior cadre of the armed forces, including service chiefs, have warned them strictly to stay away from politics. Now it is your turn. I'm equally telling you the same. Let's stay away from politics. It is going to be a conflict of interest. Politics and soldiering cannot go. It's either we take off the uniform and become politicians, or we be practical soldiers, and I'm proud to be one of them, and stay away from politics. Look, it pays a great deal of dividend when we stay away from politics. We will earn the respect of the people of this country. We will earn the respect of the international community. And that gives us a comparative advantage in whatever we may want to do tomorrow. We are practical soldiers, we're not politicians. Let's leave the politicians to do whatever they feel like doing. But remember, they owe it to the country. Let people not advance their individual interest to the detriment of the interests of the country. What do I mean by that? Today, people are using politics to divide this country. That is a recipe for danger. It's a recipe for disaster. While we've seen it, it's not hearsay. Aside politics, Gambia will remain. Aside politics, we are one big people. We are one big nation. Let's not allow politics to divide us. It comes with the repercussions of unprecedented proportions. We have a choice to make. Do we preserve the integrity of this country, or do we create havoc that would descend this country into what I call a crisis situation? Gambians, we have a choice to make, politicians to be more precise. The way we are trying to advance politics is very decisive and very, very, very complicated these days. As serving members of the armed forces, my message to you as your commander, let's not be a party to that. The only way we can do that is, let's not be active in politics. It is a dangerous precedent. I, for one, would strongly condemn that. Why? We should rather identify ourselves as Gambians, not this tribe association, that tribe association. That is an ugly precedent that should be condemned. Rather. Why? We have seen it. Rwanda, for instance. I'm a Tutsi Hutus. You ask yourself to what purpose? The bitter civil war that ensued within 3 months, April to June 30th, what was being accounted for? Over 800,000 lives got perished. Why? He's a Hutu, I'm Tutsi. You ask yourself, to what purpose? What did you gain by doing that? Those were the lives accounted for rather. Imagine those who died in nowhere in the bush and they were not accounted for. Imagine many people in their thousands and thousands sustained different degrees of wounds. Remember, families were dispersed. Sons this way, daughters some there, mother this way, father this way. We have seen it in Sierra Leone. I have seen it in Liberia. Who are going to pay the price? Who are the vulnerables? These are the girl child. It could be your girl. It could be your mother. It could be my sister. It could be anybody's sister. They are the ones going to pay the price. So let's look at it from that context. Let's not get ourselves involved in politics. Let's desist from tribal sentiment. The reason why I'm saying all this, I'm really shocked and perplexed. When I monitor the social media, some of the reactions from individuals or group of individuals, one tribe insulting another tribe. Another tribe would also get and insult another tribe. You ask yourself, how far we could have gone to that madness as Gambians to behave like that? When all these years we've allowed intermarriages amongst ourselves. We sit as neighbors, we've embraced one another. We've done things together. Today, we allowed ourselves, because of politics, or whatever you may call it, to be divided on tribal and political lines. To me, it's so disheartening. But again, as a strong message, no one would emerge as a winner. All of us are going to be losers, including my very self. It could be me. It could be my wife. It could be my sisters. It could be my brother. It could be my mother. That's conflict. Conflict cannot discriminate to say, I will leave this man and touch that man. Would the bullet be able to tell who is who? I'm asking, would the bullet discriminate? These are the repercussions. Let's not get ourselves into madness and do certain things and then just to sit back and regret at the end of the day. Because the ultimatum, you have to come back to the negotiating table. And it's already late. You've created what I call resentment amongst yourselves. Resentment between two communities, between two tribes. How dare you think you can forge good relationship again? It's not possible. Because when I see you anytime, it reminds me about the ugly past. So, in my capacity as your godfather, my strong advice to you, let's desist or not partake in political challenges or confrontations. Let's not be involved in tribal sentiments, because this is not what this fine institution stands for. We are too civilized for that as members of the armed forces.